So tonight I want to briefly touch upon the Parashat because it's a memorable one. This is one of those portions that even non-Jews have heard of. And it's actually one of only 13 Shabbats that have a name. This is Shabbat Shira. What does Shira mean? Song. How appropriate. It is the song of the music of the divine, the Sabbath of song. So why is this the Shabbat, the Sabbath of song and music? Well, this week's Torah portion is Beshalach, Exodus 13:17 to 17:16. Don't worry, there won't be a quiz. And within that story is Moses parting the Sea of Reeds. And it includes the Song of the Sea. And if you remember looking at a Torah, maybe Simchat Torah, where we have the whole Torah open, or maybe you've just remember seeing this before, it is the artwork. So usually in the Torah scroll, there's two columns, and it's justified, it's very straight. But during the Song of the Sea, you can see there is a separation of the words, sort of like the sea that was parting. And later on, in the portion was a song described as being led by Miriam, dancing with the women in joyous celebration of their freedom after they crossed to the other side. Now, Miriam represents the element of water. They have just crossed through a passage where the waters parted. Some actually use that metaphor as a birth or a rebirthing of the Jews, having that passage through the Sea of Reeds as the birth canal. The water breaks, and they emerge on the other side. Now, water has a very special connection to sound. Sound travels through water 4.5 times faster than sound travels through the air. That is why, if you're underwater, you can hear the whale song that could be miles and miles away that you would not be able to hear necessarily if you were listening to it through the air. It's a conduction of sound. In fact, when you create sound in your body, as we've been doing tonight, through mantras, through chants, through singing, and even through humming, which we're going to do in just a moment, it stimulates the water that is within the ear canal. It vibrates it. You've probably seen water respond to sound and see the water vibrate. So that is happening in our ear. It is also happening in our sinuses, those areas where there's more water. But of course, we're made up of 60% water, so it's vibrating all over our body. So the vestibular system in the ear is connected to the vagus nerve. You may have heard of the vagus nerve. It's referenced in books like the polyvagal theory and The Body Keeps the Score. It is a central nerve that goes down the middle of the body that connects to almost every single major organ. So when we chant, when we hum, when we sing, we are actually sending vibration to every single major organ in the body through the vagus nerve. Now, if we chant something supportive, that can have a positive effect on our nervous system, right? If we chant about something negative, I'm such an idiot, right? That can have a negative effect, right? Have you ever seen trying to remember the name of it. Maybe one of you will remember, where they take an image of water crystals when sound is applied to it, and when the sound is harmonious, it forms these beautiful, like snowflakes, right? Yeah, right. And if there's discordant sound, it cannot make that shape, right? So just think about what we're doing to our molecules when we engage in sound. So I want us just for a few minutes to engage in a practice I learned when I did my sound therapy training, which is humming, but not, no tension. We want to relax the jaw because we're creating an air pocket, right? It increases the vibration frequency efficiency. We keep our jaw relaxed. We barely have our mouth closed. It may tickle your sinuses, right? It's vibrating the fluids in there. But just to hum for a few minutes. When I did my training, the goal was to hum for 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening. And more if you can. But in the final project of our training, the teacher talked about someone from an earlier class who had done her final project just on humming. And she worked with a gentleman who was kind of reclusive, had arthritis, very secluded, didn't want to socialize. And the only thing he started to do differently was to hum for about 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening for 3 months. And at the end of those 3 months, some of his arthritic pain diminished. He started to volunteer at a men's shelter. He opened up. So we're going to engage in the power of humming. There's books written on it. You can Google it. I'm not making this up, I promise you. And again, remember the jaw is relaxed and the mouth is barely closed. Inhale. Just keep it going, the rhythm of your own breath. The tone doesn't matter, the pitch doesn't matter, the sound performance doesn't matter. It's just the generation of sound. And one final breath, inhale, and just exhale. Just take a moment to check in with your body. If you feel anything different. I call this type of work ruby slippers. We carry its power everywhere we go. We wear it all the time. It's accessible all the time, anywhere. Just a simple hum. So I was talking about Miriam, represents water, the prophetess, Aaron's sister. After they crossed the sea of reeds, she took a tambourine in her hand, and all the women followed her with tambourines and dancing. Miriam sang to them, "Sing to the Lord, for he is highly exalted. The horse and its riders he has hurled into the sea." So that's the metaphor. And what I like to equate it to is trying to leave behind the negative chants, the negative mantras. Leave that behind and pass through a rebirth to remind yourself of the mantras that you say to yourself that are supportive and loving and caring and self-affirming. So there is a song that Debbie Friedman wrote, and it's one of those songs that you gotta get up and move to. This is a lot of energy, so please stand up. If you have a drum that you want to engage with, engage. If you've engaged with it and you want to pass it on to someone else, please share it. This is called Miriam's Song, and it is on, I wrote it down, it is on page 26.
She sang her song, sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam was a weaver of unique variety. The tapestry she wove was one which holds history. With every strand and every thread she crafted her delight. A woman touched with spirit, she dances toward the light. And the women dancing with their timbrels follow Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. When Miriam stood upon the shores and gazed across the sea, the wonder of this miracle she soon came to believe. Whoever thought a sea would part with an outstretched hand, and we would pass to freedom and march to the promised land. And the women dancing with their timbrel follow Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam the prophet took her timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her just as she had planned. And Miriam raised her voice in song, she sang with praise and might. We've just lived through a miracle, we're going to dance tonight. And the women dancing with their timbrel follow Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women dance and dance the whole night long. Miriam and the women dance and dance the whole night long. Miriam and the women dance and dance the whole night long.